excited to be seeing Blackpink again. I have brought back my sparkly Doc Martens. That was an experience, to say the least. Hello and welcome to my Blackpink Born Pink Newark Day 1 tour vlog. God, that was a mouthful, but welcome nonetheless. I'm so excited to be seeing Blackpink again. Obviously, it's been a hot second since they have toured, obviously because of the pandemic happening right after they toured the first time in 2019, but I'm super excited to see them again and see all of the new stages and all of the new songs that they're performing as well, because they've had now both of their full albums released between their last tour and this one. So yeah, I'm super excited to see them. I do have a VIP tier ticket. I have like the lowest tier of it. I think it's called the Blink Plus experience. So I get to go to the Soundcheck and then I get the like little VIP gift, I think they said. Check-in has started for that. It started about 45 minutes ago and it goes until around 3:30. And although it is a GA floor, which I'm not a super big fan of, I am not gonna go to try and be like super close. I'm not trying to be like super early and whatever, obviously, because it's 12:45 and check-in started 45 minutes ago. If I were gonna go to be as close as possible, I would have been there by now. But yeah, I'm just not trying to be like super close or anything. I don't care enough, as bad as that sounds. I just don't really feel like standing outside in the cold for a few hours before having to do all the standing around inside and whatever for the show itself and waiting for the show and whatnot. So I'm just gonna take it easy, chill in my hotel room for a bit and just go for like 2:30, 2:45-ish. I'm flying solo this time, at least for the Soundcheck portion. I have a friend that I met at the Eric Nam concert. She's already here. She doesn't have a VIP ticket, but she's already in line for regular GA, and she's gonna try and find me once they open doors, and we're gonna do the concert together, hopefully, if we can find each other, which should be fun. It's been obviously a while since I've seen her as well, and she's super excited to see the girls. But yeah, I just wanted to get my vlog started before really being ready to go and head to the venue, because obviously I can't take my camera with me. But yeah, I will definitely, like I usually do, come back and do a little fit check moment, and then everything else will be from my phone before I come back, obviously, and talk for way too long about the concert after the fact. But yeah, I'm just super excited to see the show. I really like the set list. They're playing a lot of my favorite songs, which I feel like it's not saying much. I love all of their songs pretty much. But anyway, they're playing a lot of my favorite songs off of Born Pink, like Tally, Hard to Love, and Type of Girl especially. Those are definitely some of my favorites, and I'm so happy that they're playing them, because I remember in 2019 they wouldn't even play Boombayah in the way that we always hear it. They performed like the clean version because they were trying to be safe for baby blinks. But now they're playing Tally, where they drop the F-bomb every 5 seconds. So I'm very excited for that, and I cannot wait to hear it live. It's my favorite song of Born Pink, so thank God. I've only watched like a few fan cams from other shows, so I really don't know a whole lot about what the stages are like and if they've done any like remixes of songs in any capacity. So yeah, I'm excited to see everything, and yeah, I think that is all from me for now. All right, so real quick before I go, a fit check of sorts. So I did space buns in my hair today solely because I didn't feel like putting in the effort to Dutch braid my hair like I normally do, because it just takes so long. So there's that, but they look really cute, which is not normal. Both of them don't normally end up being cute. It's usually just one that looks nice and then the other one just looks not good. But yeah, there's that. And then my typical, I feel like, heart cutout shirt. I feel like I've worn both this one and the lilac one so many times this year, but it's fine. And then I'm also wearing the same cargo pants that I wore to see Alexa. They're just black with pockets on the side and whatever. And then I have brought back my sparkly Doc Martens that I always wear to concerts because it's a Pink concert. Why not? So yeah, there's that. But I really need to leave. It's like 2:30 basically, and check-in ends at 3:30. It's only like a 15-minute walk, and I know I'll be fine, but I should probably head down. So I am going to go head down because now my camera is also dying. So right, so it is the day after the concert now, and I have to leave in like an hour, but I want to finish out my vlog before I go. That was an experience, to say the least. I don't want to get too much into the VIP situation because I feel like I could talk about it for hours. All I'm gonna say is I don't know how disorganized any other cities have been, but yesterday was probably the most disorganized, confusing, not even the staff knows what's going on VIP situation that I've done, at least recently. It was just a mess. Hopefully it's better today and for the rest of the US tour, however long they still have. But yeah, all I will say besides that is there needs to be more people and more signs to direct everyone where they're supposed to go, because honestly, once you got the wristband with your number, it was kind of pointless. So that's all I'm gonna say. It was just really messy. Oh, and the VIP 3 gift is a bandana. I haven't opened it and I'm not going to, but they also gave us a bandana in 2019 as a VIP gift, so that's cute. And then obviously we got the bracelet labeling us with our VIP tiers and whatnot. But yes, anyway, once we got inside and down to the floor, it was a little bit better, but then I feel like even BLACKPINK staff who was directing us and like trying to keep us all safe and make sure that we weren't pushing too much, even he was kind of mad at us after a certain point. So it was just like not the best vibes all around yesterday, but it was fun regardless. The soundcheck went by so quickly. I know that most soundcheck experiences are really just them performing like 3 songs and then they leave, but this one went by just so fast. It was so insane, and I think it was mostly because they would just perform and then go right into the next song. Like they didn't really talk much in between songs. Like I feel like at ITZY they talked between each song and like were interacting with people and talking to them from the stage after each song, and then same thing with Stray Kids. It was like a little bit longer of an experience that way, but like this was very just like perform the songs, be done situation, so it went by super fast. And we were allowed to take pictures and film, which I didn't think we were, but we were allowed to. No one stopped us at all. And they didn't give an announcement before it started saying that we couldn't, so I took a short clip of the first song, which I think was Stay, and then they did Type of Girl, which I filmed most of. I missed the intro, and then I'm blanking on what the last song that they played is, but yeah, it just went by super quickly, and then they were just gone, and then we were waiting for instructions about like when we were allowed to move up, obviously, because what they did was they had VIP 1 all lining the runway, or the barricade around the runway basically, and then they left a big gap behind them, and they had another barricade and a rope separating them from VIP 2 and 3. And then he was so nice until we pissed him off, but I think he's BLACKPINK staff. He was, you know, saying a million times over how it was going to happen, that they were moving the barricade and then they were going to move the rope, and then he was going to have the staff take 1 step back, and that doesn't mean that we immediately get to take 1 step forward. We don't take a step forward until he tells us we can, etc., etc. He was running through that like a million times, and I feel so bad for him because nobody was listening to him whatsoever. And then we basically decided that we were all just gonna sit on the floor because we had so much time between the soundcheck ending and the show starting. I think we had like 2.5 hours. So a lot of people went upstairs and got merch because we didn't get to get it when we came in initially because they just sent us right downstairs. Some people were going upstairs to go see if they could get anything from the concession stands, which usually those don't open until they open the doors, and we're not allowed to get anything from them. But I guess they made an exception for us, maybe, because people were coming back with food and with drinks and whatnot. so that was good. But I just stayed sitting, and it was very nice to sit down after standing outside in the cold for a really long time. And then closer to the show, we all stood up, and so we got decently close to the stage. Oh, and I met up with the girl that I befriended at the Eric Nom concert. It turned out that she actually had a VIP 3 ticket, so we got to do the sound check together, and we found each other then, which was really nice. It was good to see her again. And we ended up right on the corner of the B stage. Okay, it's the right corner for us, like the right front corner, but it would be Blackpink's left front corner, if that makes any sense. So we were like obviously behind a bunch of other people because there were the VIP 1s and 2s in front of us, but we were like decently close still. It was like still a great view. Obviously we're on the floor. So yeah, we were on that corner, and we kind of went from a little bit more on the side to a little bit more towards the front of the B stage, like around that corner as the show was happening. Speaking of the show, they were very late. They were like 25 minutes late to the show. It was supposed to start at 8, and it did not start until about 8:25. But still, it was great. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a hard time seeing. Like, I'm tall, and I had a hard time seeing what was happening, partially because people were all filming and I was like just looking at people's phones, but also there were a lot of tall people in front of me, which was kind of insane. And I'm not gonna run through everything that happened during the show because, as per usual, I filmed a lot of it. I knew what the set list was beforehand, obviously, because Newark is not the first show this time, so I had a bunch of things planned that I wanted to film, but again, they were playing a lot of my favorite songs, and so I wanted to have those on video. But I did film a few other songs that I initially wasn't planning on doing, so those have all been posted already. I posted them as soon as I got back from the concert, basically, just to have it done. I worked the hotel Wi-Fi to the bone, as I usually do. But yeah, it was a good show. The VCRs that they did between some of the songs were really cool, and like the remixes or like mashups or whatever you would call them of their songs during the VCRs were super cool and super vibey. Like I just wasn't expecting that at all, but they were super fun, and I was just like dancing, having a good time for that. And then I think it was after Pink Venom that all of the dancers got a couple minutes to like do, I don't know if it was like all freestyle or if they had like planned some of it, like some of it was like choreographed and then some of it was freestyle, I don't know, but they all got to like show off and do dances with each other and everything. And then the band also, I love the band. I think it's so cool that they have a live band. I love it. They all got to do like little solos on each of their instruments, and they had on the back screens above them, they had them projected up there, and they had their names and everything. It was super cool, just like vibing out, and like, I don't know, I thought that was a really cool moment to like really highlight the dancers and the band because they are such a big part of the show as well. And I feel like normally they don't mention the band and the dancers until like the end, like a lot of the time at any show, not just Blackpink. I feel like a lot of the time it's not until the end that they kind of get a little bit of a spotlight to do that sort of thing. So that was cool that they did it in like the middle of the show as part of the girls' time to do a quick change between stages and whatnot. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't see very well, even though I was relatively close. I had a little bit of a hard time seeing, and I'm also tall, and I was wearing my platform boots, but I could not see for a good portion of the show. And I'm not gonna lie, like I couldn't even see the screens sometimes because just like there were so many people, or so many people's phones were in the way. So a lot of my videos like are how I'm going to see like what people were cheering for, because like things would happen on the stage but I could not see because people's heads were in the way or people's arms were in the way. So like I missed a lot of stuff just because I couldn't see over people's phones or arms or heads. So that was a time. I could not see Lisa's like pole dancing bit at all because there was just stuff in the way. So I didn't get to see it until I watched my video back, because I'm not gonna lie, I had to put my phone over my head if I wanted to get like any decent videos, and that's what everyone around me was doing as well, which is part of why I couldn't see. So I don't know, it was a little bit of a mess in that situation, but what can you do? Everyone films everything at concerts now, especially K-pop concerts at least. I did not get any interactions this time. I think in 2019 Jisoo noticed me or like pointed at me, waved at me. I have no idea, but nothing of the sort happened this time. That's okay, because you know, there were a lot of people around and I feel like I was kind of hidden by the other people's like arms, like trying to get interactions. So that was fun. It was still a great time. I had a lot of fun. It was great seeing a bunch of my favorite songs live. I popped off during Tally. I love that song. I'm so happy that they sang it, and they did it on the B stage, or they did at least half of it on the B stage, which was very exciting because I was obviously right by it. So yes, I had a lot of fun just screaming along to all of the songs and seeing, or trying to see what the stages were like, because again, I think I said this before I went in for the show, but I didn't see a whole lot of stages and like what everything was going to be like before this. I only watched like a handful, so it was fun like getting to watch all of that. But yeah, it just went by super quickly. The encore took a while to happen. Like I feel like we were standing there in the dark for much longer than usual, and then I had as the encore Boom-Ba-Ya, Yeah Yeah Yeah, and As If It's Your Last. But for us this time they did Yeah 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 first, and then they did Stay, which I was not expecting, obviously, because I was expecting Boom-Ba-Ya first, and then As If It's Your Last. So yeah, that was a fun little switch up that I was not expecting. I don't know if they've been switching up the songs for the encore every day, because again, not super duper paying attention to what's happening at the other shows. I just found a set list from Dallas day one or Houston day one. Where did they go? I don't know. But like the set list that I found was from like day one of one of the first shows on the tour. So I was just using that for my reference for what the set list was. So I don't know, maybe they've been switching up the encore songs, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it just went by so fast, and then they were just gone. But yes, that was my experience seeing Blackpink on the Born Pink tour, day one in Newark. I am still glad that I got to go, even though it was a little bit of a mess. It was still fun despite all of the not so great aspects. So yeah, that was my experience seeing Blackpink, and I will see you in my next video.